So how did I get a hematoma the size of a golf ball, which resulted in 2 black eyes the next day? It was 2007 and I was moving from Wellington to Auckland. It was pouring with rain and I had to run out to my car, and I was running really fast, and the car was parked underneath a tree and there was a huge branch, and as I opened the car door and I was going to miss the branch, I went smack right into the corner of the car door. I dropped to the ground. I went inside and Marty, my husband, just looked at me with this shock horror look on his face, and I had a hematoma instantly the size of a golf ball. So that's how I ended up seeing you, Sue. And that's when you, after a few sessions, you said, Lorraine, your breathing's really shallow. So what happens, Sue, when we are shallow breathing over a period of time?
Well, it's our stressful way of breathing. So if you breathe shallowly at rest, it's sending a message to your brain and your body that you should be on red alert. So you have cortisol hormone flooding your system, you have adrenaline, you'll have sore shoulders, you have many symptoms: poor sleep, low energy, gut problems, chest pain, tingling.
Okay, so there'll be people out there who will be going, oh, I get that. So let's share, how are we meant to be breathing? Not the shallow breathing, which is up here, very short breaths and held in the chest. How do we do it properly?
Well, at rest, so I'm talking a bit about the breathing that you do sitting in your car, sitting on a couch with a friend, walking around your house. It's with your nose and your diaphragm.
Okay.
Your diaphragm muscle is your primary breathing muscle.
Okay, and where is that?
It sits underneath your rib cage and it separates your lung cavity from your abdominal cavity. And I use a coffee plunger because I think that's a really great visual tool that I use with my patients.
Okay, well, let's get one.
Great. Right, Lorraine.
Yes.
The coffee plunger.
Yes.
You've got to imagine this is your diaphragm. That's your primary breathing muscle. It's more like a parachute, but like a toilet plunger, but we didn't bring a toilet plunger in here. Your nose, your neck, the top of your shoulders, the bottom of your pelvis. Okay, tummy button. The diaphragm goes down when you breathe in and it returns when you breathe out. It's like a muscle pump and it rhythmically moves up and down inside you. Your lungs are here, your abdominal muscles are here, and abdominal contents are here. And 3% energy is being used when you breathe using your diaphragm.
Compared to
20 to 22% if you hold all that in and breathe from your chest.
So that's a lot of extra energy.
Absolutely.
You're using throughout your day.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So what are the benefits? What are we going to see change when we start using our diaphragm to breathe?
Okay. Well, you'll have a whole lot more energy. You'll be able to,
good thing.
Yeah, you'll be able to feel relaxed but alert. Your sleep will be really refreshing, you'll wake refreshed.
You know how you hear about people, they say, I crashed last night, and then they wake up in the morning and they feel exhausted.
Still exhausted.
Why's that happened?
Well, if your breathing pattern is not that flash in your day, it doesn't get better at night. People think, nightie on, no bra, relaxed. So that breathing pattern doesn't change.
So that shallow, uptight breathing that you saw in me, when I go to bed, I'm doing that through my whole sleep.
Generally, or certainly you might not to start with, but you'll resort back to your normal pattern of breathing in your nighttime.
Right. You mentioned about the breathing and fat cells.
Right, so you know how we talked about if you hold your abdomen in, so this is probably really important actually, if you zip up and hold your core all the time, your diaphragm is descending down inside you, it needs this part of you to be at ease and relaxed. So your belly moves outward when the diaphragm descends. If you hold all that in, you actually inhibit the diaphragm moving up and down, which means your only choice of breathing is your chest pattern.
And that's actually been an area that's been hard for me because I'm from a modelling background and it was always holding in and standing tall, shoulders back. So my poor old diaphragm didn't have a chance.
Oh, Didn't have a chance.
And it was instilled in me all those years. So we had a bit of work to do. And I'm just going to say that when you know the difference of how it feels so delicious when you're using your diaphragm. It's so relaxing.
And it's so you're so at ease. I want to just talk about those fat cells, because the reason that you hold on to your fat cells is that if you're breathing in a shallow manner, it makes the body and the mind think that you're in danger. And in a primitive sense, it's like you're up a tree with a brown bear circling. So it doesn't want to metabolise the breakfast you had. So it holds on to your fat cells. Okay. Whereas when you relax this and do your nose diaphragm breathing, you send a message to every cell of your body that you are safe, there's food in the fridge, and you can metabolize your food. And you can let go of your fat cells.
Wow, that's really powerful, isn't it?
So you can lie down, which we're going to do soon, aren't we?
are.
And teach you breathing. And you're burning fat cells while you're relaxing throughout your night.
So Sue, how has breathing helped you personally?
I went through quite a lot of endometriosis pain in my 20s and 30s, and when I learnt about the breathing, I would put a warm wet bag on my abdomen when I started to feel my pelvic pain, and I would just breathe into my pain, and I could get my pain from an 8 out of 10 to a 2 out of 10 in about 20 minutes. So I remember becoming really aware of just how powerful this procedure was, this sort of way of being, and I then started using it with my patients.
For me personally, it's been waking up in the middle of the night and my mind would be racing, like, the busy mind, and I would do my breathing technique and I would actually fall back to sleep. What a great gift that is. So I got you to work with Jasmine, my daughter. Now, Jazz was a dancer and she was finding that she was getting a lot of anxiety before she went on stage in a dance competition. And you worked with her and you taught her these amazing breathing techniques to help her just become calm.
Ground her before she went on.
And that's what it did. It just took her mind away from the anxiety to her breath, and it works. And that's why it's fantastic for teenagers to learn this technique, because for anyone actually that has anxiety and stress, it's a wonderful way, as you say, to ground yourself. I would love for us to do a little breathing session so that you can see what a breathing session looks like.
Sure.
Are we up for that?
Yep.
Great.
So Lorraine, what we're going to start with is getting you just to notice your own breathing pattern. Okay? So I can see that you're using your nose really nicely, which is wonderful. We're halfway there. So the nose and the diaphragm work together as partners. So let's just get one hand to be up on the chest area and one hand to be just down here, so just below your rib cage and kind of above your tummy button. And I just want you to, without judging your breathing, just notice what your breathing pattern does. So just notice whether your low hand moves first or your upper hand moves first. And then the speed in which you're breathing. And what's most nice for us when we're at rest is in for the count of 2 and out for about 2 to 3. So we're wanting an inhale at the low hand and then exhale, just let the chest and the belly fall back down. And then just feel the belly rise on the in for 2. And then just let that one fall back down. And generally after about 5 minutes, that starts to become a little bit easier. The key to starting the breathing is actually not to try and think about getting the perfect breath. Okay, we just want good enough. We want a sense of noticing the exhale mostly. Okay, because that's our relaxation phase of our breath. and just letting this whole abdomen area be relaxed. So how's that feeling as you start to do that, Lorraine?
It's starting to feel, felt a little bit tight at the beginning, and now it just feels like it's getting a little bit fuller.
Yeah, and you're kind of melting. So the key here is soft and melting and sinking on the chest area, and then just a slow drawing in the nose and the belly rising. So we can't hold in our core down here, Lorraine. Okay? If I can just say another thing about posture. Posture's actually about just simply breathing well. It's not about holding. It's not about shoulders back, chin up, tummy in. That just inhibits the diaphragm breath. Okay? Nice posture is simply standing and just being aware of your breathing. I might leave you here. That's it. It's just 3% energy, Lorraine, when you do this. And just soft, soft, down to the end. And then a slow inhale. Yeah, you did a beautiful pause there, Lorraine, at the end of your exhale. That sense of not having to rush your next breath in.
Thanks, Sue. So my diaphragm is here.
Yeah, it's just underneath your rib cage and above your tummy button. Now if we go over to the skeleton, imagine the diaphragm is here, and as you breathe in it flattens and descends down and then returns, like that coffee plunger action.
Right. What about people that are sitting in front of computers all day?
Oh, I'll show you how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
So Lorraine, show me how you sit at the computer.
Okay, I'd probably be like this.
Okay, and what's your diaphragm doing?
My diaphragm is feeling very tight.
And held?
Yes, it's like this, which it shouldn't be.
Okay, can I get you to move your chair in a bit more?
Sure.
So wriggle forward.
Yeah.
Now I'll get you to lean back and let that chair hold you up. Yeah, and you just did a really lovely exhale.
I did, and already I feel like everything's just relaxed.
Yeah. So you've got to relax.
Internally, yeah.
You've got to relax underneath your rib cage. Let your diaphragm soften so that the breathing can happen.
And actually it would be really good to, when people come and sit down in front of their computer, just to check in and just do a couple of deep diaphragm breaths. I mean, it just, when you breathe with the diaphragm, it feels so soft and just freeing internally. That's what I feel. It's a delicious feeling. It's so different from when it's tight. Remarkably different.
The key is in the exhale. So when you sit down in that chair, like you said, and check in, just a gentle letting your breath go and then softening your abdomen, knowing that that's actually the best way to be. Feet flat, thighs relaxed, let the chair hold you up. It shouldn't be hard work to sit, and then you can focus on your work at hand.
Feels so much better. The difference is incredible.
And you can do the same thing driving. In the car, shoulders down.
That was huge because I was driving with my shoulders in traffic, you know, Auckland traffic, we know what that can be like sometimes. And now, when I feel the shoulders up, I just let them go, and it's amazing. No stress. Do you know that breathing is the most effective anti-stress medicine anybody could use at any time?
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for today. I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be thinking about how they're breathing and whether they are using their diaphragm or shallow breathing. It's a life-changing tool, and I really encourage people to think about this because it will change their life. Also, if there's people out there that perhaps have been suffering from pain in their body and they're going to a physio and it's not getting better, perhaps think about going and seeing Sue, who treats the whole person. Thank you, and thank you.